Hey, how's it going? We recently lost one of our favorite celebrities and stars, a fan favorite of film and TV everywhere, Betty White. So rather than be sad about our loss, I'd rather lift up Betty and talk about how great she was and maybe talk about some of her better performances and some of the reasons we're going to love her and miss her. So here's the 5 best plus an honorable mention Betty White movies you should check out. Honorable mention, Return to the Batcave. Adam West and Burt revived their characters back in 2003. They did a thing where they dressed up as the old Batman and they reminisced over their old adventures. At one point when they're walking up the side of the wall, guess what favorite celebrity sticks her head out the window and spices things up? So it's just wonderful to see her pop up, and when she sticks her head out, you're like, oh, this movie just got even better. Number 5, Vanished. The Thornbirds and Roots are often credited as being like the first actual television miniseries, and then those television miniseries later became like HBO movies, and then those HBO movies later became HBO shows, and HBO shows later became Netflix shows, and that became the streaming landscape as we know it. So, the original miniseries, which was Vanished, starred, Betty White was in it. It's about a presidential aide who goes missing, and then all the implications politically about that. It's got the typical TV movie stars, but it's kind of credited as being the first made-for-TV movie ahead of those others that got all the credit. So, this one's cool and edgy. They show it on TCM sometimes. I watched it one time when I was sick. That's how I knew about it. But it's really good, and it's just cool to see Betty, in a non-silly role. Number 4, You Again. I'm not much on a romantic comedy type deal, but this isn't quite that. This is more of like a female rivalry type deal. It was so good, it later was made into a TV show. It's about a woman finding out that her brother is going to marry a woman who is her high school rival. And she freaks out about it, and then she goes and tells her mom, and the mom tells her to calm down, and they meet the new wife's mother, who ends up being her rival. So Sigourney Weaver, Jamie Lee Curtis, a bunch of great actresses, and then of course at the top of the heap, the wisdom of the movie is Betty White. So as far as, a movie with a lot of great actors in it, that people don't appreciate it that much and don't get a lot of screen time, definitely, check out You Again. Although, some people don't like it, but I thought it was good. Number 3, Toy Story 4. This is probably the best movie on the list, except Betty White's, not totally featured. She's the voice of a teething ring, Bitey White. She is cute, and it's fun to hear her voice in there, but they relied more on Betty's celebrity power to just fuel a few segments of the movie more than like she actually contributed to the big overall anything. But it's cool to see Betty in that world, or Bitey in that world. Number 2, Lake Placid. This one is probably my personal favorite of all of these on this list. It's an intentional B movie, and that's always really hard to walk the line of tone, like how silly do we make this, but at the same time, how try to be sincere we make it so it feels like we're trying. It's a really tough tone to reach, but in this one, an old crocodile or alligator or whatever swims up on the shore of a couple's retirement farm. So Betty White and her husband start feeding this alligator or whatever, and then eventually the husband dies and she keeps feeding it, and the thing gets humongous, and she's like, Frankenstein's grandmother, basically. She's the loving mother of this huge monster gator, right? So that's part of the reason I like her in this, is that's what she feels like. It's like, America is just this big gator, and she's our loving grandmother feeding us cows. We love you, Betty. Number 1, The Proposal. Normally I don't dig on romantic comedies. That's not really a genre made for me, so what do you want? And I normally don't like Sandra Bullock romantic comedies because I find she makes women look like buffoons frequently. You know, she trips and falls down a lot, and it's just, yeah, it's not what I'm into. But, you know, I'm sure there's a whole subsection of the internet that's way into that, but yeah, it's not my thing. So this one is about Sandra Bullock needing Ryan Reynolds to pretend that they're getting married so she can keep her residency in the U.S. and not get deported back to Canada. You know, every fifth sitcom in the 80s stole that plot. So the two of them go back home to meet his family, and you know, you can guess Betty White is there as the grandma. So she gets to be Betty White full on. It's the best Betty White, you know, other than, you know, my opinion, Lake Placid, where she's the evil Betty White. But in this Betty White, she's the fun, lovable, huggable, just, she kicks ass. She's Betty White. All right, so there you go. There's the 5 best plus an honorable mention movies to celebrate the life of Betty White. She was hilarious and she'll be missed very much, but she can be celebrated at any time because she's on film forever. All right. You have a great day, and thank you for being a friend.